Welcome, adventurers! You've made it to the Wind Down, the live stream at the end of the Geekverse. It's a chill place to hang out here as the sun sets on another day. We're here to have a little chat, reflect on the day's successes, and prepare for a better tomorrow. So settle in with your favorite beverage this evening.
May I tempt you with a cup of chamomile?
Why, thank you, Dory. I would love a mug of tea this evening, but perhaps you would rather have some coffee, though I do recommend decaf this late in the evening. Or perhaps maybe a cold brew is more your style.
Oh, no thank you, Dory. A little red wine. For me, Isaac.
Sounds like an excellent choice, Gandalf. Whatever you want, it's yours. Could I offer you a bourbon, a martini, an old-fashioned, or something perhaps a little stronger? Ugh, well, I mean, if that's really your thing, then okay, but I hope we can find something a bit better than that.
Romulan ale. Why, Bones, you know this is illegal.
I only use it for medicinal purposes.
All right, now we're talking. I'm Heath, and I'll be your host. Welcome to my home. Come one, come all. Writers, artists, sculptors, storytellers, board gamers, streamers, dungeon masters, fans of sci-fi, fantasy, geeks of all kinds. Whatever your fandom, you have a place here. For soon it will be time for another long rest so that we can recover our hit points, our spells, and our abilities, so we'll be ready to fight on for another day tomorrow. But first, we all need a little time to reflect. Because you've survived another long, perilous day of wilderness treks, dungeoneering, and random encounters. And that's worth celebrating. Let's tell the tale. It's time for the Wind Down. It will improve your life. It really will. Give it a chance. Here we go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Wind Down, the live stream at the end of the Geekverse. I hope everyone is doing great. It has been a very smooth, kind of chill day for me. I hope that it has been for you as well. Got off to a kind of late start, technology malfunction with the alarm clock today, so it didn't get up and at 'em as I was hoping I would be today. Would have today, but oh well. Was still feeling very smooth all day. I hope that was the case with you as well. Mostly great day, Inner Light says. So mostly great? We should take a mostly great day. Mostly great day? Fantastic. Let's see here. Let's sip and break. I got tea tonight. Get rid of this tea bag. Got tea tonight with me. So, first of all, let's breathe and then let's sip. Oh, Gravendal Game says, yep, got a lot of programming done. Excellent. That's something that I don't know much about. I've done a little bit, but not in my wheelhouse. But hopefully it was some fantastic games that you were working on. Programming games, creating great games. Or maybe programming for other projects. So why are we here? We are here to reflect on the day. Think about what happened. We've got two different options. It can be a good day, GD in the chat for good day, or WIT, which is will improve tomorrow. Although Stray's a fan of making sure that it's a good day, but also saying will improve tomorrow. So I like that as well. I hope you are happy with your day. We should celebrate victories. If something really good happened to you, we should definitely we need some fog. We can celebrate your victories. Tell us great things that happened. We will celebrate. If you want to talk about how to improve, well, we can improve tomorrow. Did you have a random encounter? Did something really weird happen to you today? Well, then let us know. We can talk about what happens with your random encounters. I'll take some questions. I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight because I didn't get all the way to the end of my inbox. That was one of my big rocks I was trying to move today. So we may not go all that late tonight because I do need to get back to my inbox. I really want to zero that out before I go to bed. And I still want to get to bed on a reasonable time tonight so that I can hit the 4:45 morning wake-up call to action. But if you have questions, we can talk about it. No problem. So, Oh, Innerlight says, although I didn't hear from the artist any today, but that's not something I can control. Yep, that's true. I will go over to Innerlight's working on an RPG. Go over to the auxiliary camera. And so we can look at how we did today. I'll report. You can too. CTA, that is heeding the call to adventure. CTA, that was if you were up and working when you wanted to be up and working. I was not. My alarm clock didn't work, so I was not CTA today. MBR, did you clear all of your big rocks? And I did not. I did send an important message to schedule a meeting. I sent another important message to schedule a meeting, and I was still working on my inbox, and I didn't get to YouTube scheduling. So I knocked out 2. It didn't take a lot of time, but they were important messages to send, but still working on that. So I wasn't MBR either. MBR is move big rocks. AF, I'm trying to lose weight, and I find that I can do that if I'm alcohol free, or it's easier to do it anyway. If you're not drinking alcohol when you're trying to lose weight, that's optional. You could try to be AF too. AF is alcohol free, or it could be SF, smoke free. Maybe if you're trying to give that up or trying to break some other habit or something like that. Did do that. And then, that's WF. Should be WR. WR is watch rings. Did you hit all of your watch rings? Now would be a good time to update that. I did. Watch rings accomplished. So there we go. You can see how difficult it is to have the perfect day, right? If I don't get up, if I'm not up and at my desk by 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to hit all of my marks. As you can see, I'm going to do more YouTube time right now, so go ahead and check those. Did 25 minutes of cleaning. DAR, that's daily active recreation. But still didn't get to core creative activity. If I'm not up and getting 3.5 to 4 hours of work done before the morning grind, can't do it, because this is 12 hours of time right here. I mean, it's difficult. It's very difficult to try to account for 12 hours worth of time in a day. Very difficult. Innerlight asks, oh, do you have any Tom Thumb grocery stores in your area? I do not. I'm too far north for that. When I think of Tom Thumb grocery stores, I think of the beach. If you go down, where I'm from, I find those when I go down to the beach, like the Panhandle of Florida area, or maybe in some of like the Mobile area of Alabama. But when I think about, I have to go further south to get to a Tom Thumb. Let's see. Oh, I do want to play. Today was a successful day. One thing that, with regard to sending out Christmas gifts to people who need a little bit of help, getting Christmas gifts taken care of this year. We know that can be stressful if something is going on. Trying to alleviate that stress so that we can focus on what's important for the holidays. I actually shipped out 10 items today. I shipped out 10 items and I updated the spreadsheet. I do have the explanation. You want to know what we're doing. I'm giving away free Christmas stuff to people who need it for the holidays. I've got a little video on that explains what we're doing, and then I'm going to drop the links to the spreadsheet and the giveaway form in the chat. So let me show you what we're doing here. And if you need it, or you know someone who needs it, or you're trying to do something nice for people over the, you got like a social group, church, mosque, whatever, your gaming group, whatever it is, might be trying to take care of somebody this Christmas. Well, and you need these items, let me know. So here's what I got here. Although not everything that's now on this video is still available, because about 10 items have been claimed and have shipped out. So here we go.
Holidays can be a lot of fun and bring a lot of happiness, but they can also be stressful, especially if times are tough. So if you or someone you know is having a rough time this Christmas for whatever reason, and you need a little help with Christmas gifts this year, I want to help. If something from the Geekverse would help you out, I've got a spreadsheet, linked below, of a list of items that I've got from the Raven Keep store and also elsewhere that are completely free and that I will also ship completely free. That means that every item on the sheet is available at no cost whatsoever. Everything is new in the box, so look over the items, and if there's anything that would help you out, submit what you need on the Google form. That is also linked below. Your name or email address is not required. No one's going to know that you put in if you're worried about that. I will then ship the items absolutely free with no questions asked to whatever address you put in, though I can only ship to the United States at this time. Or hey, if your church, your mosque, your synagogue, or any other kind of social group, whatever you've got, is helping out a family in need this holiday season, and some of these items would be helpful in what you're trying to do, let me know, put them in, and I will send them out so that you can get them to the people who need it. Any items that are left closer to Christmas, I'm going to donate to charity to make sure they all get to people who need them this Christmas. But I want to make sure that anyone in our community or connected to our community who needs some help can get that first. So this is entirely on the honor system. I'm not checking up on anyone. As I said, I will ship all of these items out free, no questions asked. All you have to do is put in for them if you need them. So let's help out those who need it in the Geekverse this Christmas and help make this holiday season one that's happy and also stress-free. So you are welcome to share those links. I just dropped those in the chat. There's a spreadsheet list of the remaining items that are there. Both boxes of Enchantress have gone. Some of the dice have gone. So it's just kind of first come, first serve, because I can see who submits stuff through the forum first. And so I'm just going first come, first serve if for the items. But share that around. You can share the links on social media, get them to people who might need them. Share with a gaming group or social group, whatever. If you're running a scam, that's on you. I'm shipping these out, no questions asked. But we're trying to do this and get this to people who might be a little bit tight this Christmas and need some help getting Christmas gifts to give to people. So share that around. And I was very pleased. I was very pleased that we had requests coming in. So hopefully people alleviated some stress this Christmas. So that is wonderful. I need just a quick break. Give me just a moment. I've got to take care of something. I'll be right back. Just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Realized there was something I needed to take care of. I am back. So that was great. What have I been thinking about today? I'll talk about what I've been thinking about. If you have other questions, we can address them. But like I said, I don't think we're going to make this a real late night tonight, so I can answer other people's emails and before getting to bed. But let's see. Oh, where's my topic list? Let's see. I am still thinking about rules for operation in Discord. I want to make that a really good, try to come up with a really good format for like the rules, the kind of code of conduct, informal, but still some kind of like how we're going to operate the community. I really want to make that. I was taking some more notes on that today. So we need that. But how do we actually come up with some guidelines that make a really positive online community? I did watch while I was cooking lunch today and also cleaning up around the kitchen and the living room, the Dragon Strike VHS. What do you call it? I mean, story, the story that came in, the intro story that came with the Dragon Strike. We were talking about that on the morning grind this morning. We were unboxing The Darkest Dungeon. We brought up Dragon Strike. And Interlight posted link to the VHS because it's uploaded to YouTube. Man, talk about a blast from the past. I really enjoyed watching that. this afternoon. I had forgotten so much of it. Apparently, there is like an underground cult dedicated to that and how obsessed some people are. As I was Googling it, I was looking that up, and some people were like, oh my God, my 20-year-long obsession with the Dragon Strike VHS tape. It was pretty fun. I had forgotten the Dungeon Master. That's just basically his head. You know, he's in like a black turtleneck, and it's all black around him. And the Dungeon Master that's talking. I had forgotten all of that. And, you know, but I was really surprised, or, you know, what he's talking about. I'm going to take you to a different world. You know, this is a different kind of game. You know, use your imagination. And as I've said before, I think that's really what draws me to these kinds of games. And so when he was talking about that just, you know, let's enter another world. Let's experience a different kind of story. You know, a different kind of place. I'm like, yeah, that's, I think, exactly why I like these things that I do. I mean, for multiple other reasons, but probably at their core, the experiencing other worlds and things like that. That was so good. So there is the link to that in the Discord channel. Oh, if you're here and you're not part of the Discord, I should drop a link to the Discord. Love to have you. Want it to be a very positive and constructive place in the Geekverse. See, Gravendal Games was talking about that too. Started it, but haven't finished it yet. It was longer than I remember. I was going to go, oh, hey, let me watch it, because I thought I would have said it was like just a few minutes, but it's a 35-minute video. So it was longer than I thought. So it was fun to turn on while I was cooking and cleaning and cooking and cleaning. The first 2 episodes of Willow were good. Well, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. I haven't been able to watch those yet. And I believe it was Matt who was talking about that was coming on. I've just seen headlines, been aware of that by headlines that are going by. And I didn't realize it had just dropped. So good. I like things. I want things to be good. I want things to be good. You know, everybody's got different opinions on that, and ups and downs of shows and things like that. And I think there have been some ups, and I also think there have been some downs. But I want things to be really good. So that would be great if Willow was great. Xmas 7 Xmas 7 says love Dragon Strike. I didn't realize what kind of following that game had, because I played both Hero Quest and Dragon Strike, and we played a lot more Hero Quest with mother's side of the family. So I've got a very special feeling toward Hero Quest. Played that a lot. But at my father's house, we had Dragon Strike, and my brothers, I had 3 other brothers. So the 4 of us, we played a lot of Dragon Strike. I also probably had friends over, like at my father's house. So Dragon Strike was definitely one that was played, and apparently has maintained a cult following. Hero Quest to me was bigger, but of the other games in that genre, Dragon Strike seems to have been the one that it has maintained its following. It seems like we were talking about some other ones. There was another game, Dragon Quest. Interlight was saying it wasn't as good. I would still like to look at its rules. I just remember that was from TSR, and I was like, oh, this looks like the same kind of genre. I just have like a flyer for it. But there was another game. Was it called Dungeon or something like that? It also looked pretty cool to me. And of course, this was before YouTube and everything else. You just saw the flyer and the advertisement. I remember there was a game that I really wanted to be good that was in that genre, but it was so many cards. I mean, it was a board game, but it was so many cards that weren't even all that graphic. And we sat down and played it with some friends. I don't remember what that one was. It may have been called Dungeon. I don't know. But I was like, yeah, this one's not as good. This one's not as good. Interlight says that was the inspiration for the first page of the introduction I sent. Okay. Fantastic. Maybe I'm thinking Sunday. Maybe Sunday. My idea, I haven't gotten to actually structure the morning grind days yet like I want to, but my idea is that maybe on Sunday could be a potpourri day, and maybe we look at community stuff and things like that. So maybe this Sunday. Oh, Stray's here. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Innerlight also says, I need to find the Netherlands expansion for it and upload it to Discord as well. It's like another 20 quests. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to play Darkest Dungeon. I mean, I like video games. I'm not really in that world as much. I used to play video games as a kid, although not as much as my brothers. My brothers were heavy video gamers, and I played some. But see, what people are telling me about Darkest Dungeon is what I'm afraid of. I'm like, oh yeah, I will like this, and I can't spend 500 hours in it. But you know what? What if I streamed it? Now with the new idea of the Geekverse, because I mean it's not something I can do commonly, but it did occur to me. Well, you know what? I could do that one evening. My first attempt at playing Darkest Dungeon. That way I know what this board game's about. I'm excited about this board game. I'm excited about a lot of board games and haven't had the time to play, but we are trying to fix that. And the Darkest Dungeon, the board game looked cool. We're going to figure out more about how to play. But yeah, probably if I played Darkest Dungeon, I'd know a little bit more about what's going on. It has such a following. That seems like an important part of the Geekverse to experience. I like having experiences. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Dragon Strike. Another 20 quests for Dragon Strike. See, one of the things that I liked about Hero Quest more than Dragon Strike was that although Dragon Strike had the 4 different boards, I still felt like I got more variety out of the Hero Quest board because the Hero Quest board was so modular. You know, where root doors were and where stuff was. I felt like that was more modular. There was a little bit of modularity to the boards. And you did have like the Wilderness board and the Castle board, but the Dragon Strike board weren't as modular. So I appreciated that in Hero Quest. Inner Light says, as long as you're prepared for a lot of TPKs. Hey, sure. Stray says, name your party members after Discord members. That would be fun. Now, it's not multiplayer, is it? It's not something that multiple people can play? Because I do think that there should be things like there should probably be a video gaming part of the Ravenkeep Discord server. Because like I said, I'm not opposed to it, and it's part of the Geekverse. And whenever Diablo 4 comes out, I've been a Diablo fan ever since the original Diablo game. Now, I did play a lot of that. Played a lot of 1, 2, and 3. So it's on my list to play. So that's on my list. I'm going to play Diablo 4 when Diablo 4 comes out. Definitely going to do that. So we should probably have a place, and we should have probably an ability to have some kind of like private server, right? For Diablo 4 games. I don't know. I have no idea. And if so, and people want to play, we should probably have a Ravenkeep server. I think that'd be fun. I'm not going to be able to play a lot, but I want to play some. It's on my list to play and experience. So no multiplayer in Darkest Dungeon. I didn't think so. I've seen it played. David really liked it, and he was playing it. So I've seen it played. I kind of know this was a long time ago, but I remember its kind of feel. So wait, more information here. Inner Light says Darkest Dungeon is multi-class. Multi-class? Is that you mean multiplayer? Multiplayer. Okay, multiplayer. Is multiplayer with one of its download expansions, but it's not really interactive. You set up parties and battle them against other parties. Oh, okay. So you can do like a PvP kind of thing. Well, hey, that board game had something about PvP. That I'm less interested in. I want to see the story and sort of get into the world. So there we go. Inner Light says the spaces on the Dragon Strike board are pretty small too. I think I kind of remember that. But, of course, miniatures have gotten bigger. And that's why when I did the Hero Quest board, we didn't do just 1-inch squares, because the Hero Quest board is 1-inch squares. I moved to 1 1/4-inch squares, which takes up more room on the table, but I think is better. Miniatures have gotten bigger, and if the miniature is sitting on a 1-inch base, and it's got its arm out or something like that in some kind of action pose, that may even overhang the base. And so I found that 1.25 inch squares work really well. I would do that if I were going to be 3D printing a dungeon or something. I would make them 1.25 inch squares. It takes up more table space, but it works for me. Stray, great question. Stray says, did HeroQuest have the turn countdown too? I forget. No, it didn't. Now, that was something that I did like about Dragon Strike, because it puts the time limit on the characters, on the players, which is to me a weakness of HeroQuest. I think HeroQuest could be upgraded, and that's why I'm glad in retrospect now that they re-released HeroQuest basically as it was. But even my initial opinion though was like, man, we could do HeroQuest, but it's not exactly their modern elements, right? That we could add in that I think would improve, and that's one of them. Because a problem with HeroQuest is that it's possible to play. I might have talked about that. Did I talk about this morning? I feel like I've said this before, but it's possible with HeroQuest to play mathematically optimally. No, I talked about it when we were talking about Gloomhaven, because Gloomhaven has mechanics to keep the players on their toes and moving, and not play mathematically optimally. But in HeroQuest, the players can have basically as much time as they want if you're playing by the original rules. And so that really allows the players to play mathematically optimally and can make it a very easy game for them. One of the things that I think needs to be added, and you could do this in multiple ways, but there's the countdown timer in Dragon Strike before the dragon comes down, and it's a big foe to beat, and it comes down and eats you. So you're trying to do whatever your quest is really before the countdown timer. So you've got to keep moving. So having something like that in HeroQuest, and it doesn't have to be every quest. I mean, this could be different things for different quests. But one thing I think to add in there would be like, you've got a countdown timer in order to get stuff done. Would be good. Or another thing that people have added, which I liked when we talked about potential house rules to HeroQuest, was like people were talking about, well, Zargon can just drop a monster on his turn into some space that's not seen by the heroes. Because otherwise, wandering monsters can come on the board in HeroQuest if you're searching for treasure and you draw a wandering monster card. But that's not enough. That's a penalty, a potential penalty for searching for treasure. So it's fun, it's good, but it doesn't keep the heroes moving. So having some kind of mechanic like the Dragon Strike or Zargon's ability to add monsters, there's going to be this continual flow of monsters. You got to do what you got to do, otherwise you're eventually going to be overwhelmed. I think would be a net positive for HeroQuest. So yeah, not in the original campaign, Centerlight is saying, but I think there is something like that in one of the new campaigns made for the new edition. It sounds like it should be something that's quest specific. A mechanic that's in the game that could be used for different quests, because there may be other mechanics to keep people moving. Right, SWAT team. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, HeroQuest is like a SWAT team without rushing players. That's right. HeroQuest. If the players the player's best choice should be to always basically play like a SWAT team if they're playing mathematically optimally, and so something to keep them from doing that would be good. The full Dragon Strike game is a workshop item in Tabletop Simulator. Really? Okay, see, this is one of these things I have not gotten to yet, but I had started trying to work with Tabletop Simulator because I want to build out rituals so we can do online play testing, and I also want to look at being able to play as a community, get together, maybe for Tabletop Simulator. I haven't. You would think that's something I would have looked at using before, but I hadn't. I kind of got stymied on virtual tabletops, but it looks good, so I got to get back to that. That makes me excited. Dragon Strike game in Tabletop Simulator. Gravendall Game says, in my game, the wandering monsters actually wander, so I'm hoping that fixes the problem. Only really possible in a video game. Yeah, let's see, the wandering monster, the house rule that I was talking about, or at least I was seeing people post about in HeroQuest on those, was that Zargon, or even monsters on the arriving on the staircase. So Zargon still controls it, but every turn of Zargon's, there's another monster. So eventually you're gonna be overwhelmed, right? And then that monster then moves on Zargon's turn, and Zargon can keep track of where it is on the game map, if it's out of the sight of the players or something like that. So you could have a wandering monster. It's probably not exactly what you're talking about, but you could do something similar like that in physical stuff. It's more, to me, in this case, the continual supply that would keep the pressure on the heroes. I think time in general is underused in games, like role-playing games and things like that. The Angry DM has some really interesting stuff on time now, written in his style, and I really like to condense that and get to what he says. But I think time is a very important component. It's a resource to be managed that I think is underused, especially in RPGs, but in some board games as well, especially earlier ones. I think people have realized that the time element is a really important one. Innerlight says, I have the Dark Fate tokens in the game I'm making that keep the heroes on their toes. And to me, that's also part about trying to pack as much fun. You know, one of the general ideas I have is I got to pack as much fun and as much adventure as I possibly can into 2 hours to 3 hours, you know? And so putting time pressure on the players to get things happen is part of that. We don't have all day because we've only, everybody's going to be leaving here in 3 hours. We got like a 3-hour gaming period we're able to do here this evening. And you can't be just wandering around aimlessly during this time either in world. There's actually stuff that you got to get done. Oh, yeah. So torches, right? I liked your morning grind. Gravendale Game says, I liked your morning grind episode where you talked about using torches as a time limit, running out of torches and it's lights out. Yeah. See, I think that's cool too. That you don't have all day to get this done. Now, sometimes coming up with your time limit, every time. Stories are better with a time limit. So are games. Stray says, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the morning star swings. Like the attack on the Death Star in the original Star Trek. The original Star Wars. In the original Star Wars, I remember also I was reading that as the movie was originally scripted, there was no time limit that they needed to destroy the Death Star by. That all of the X-Wings flew off from Yavin to go and attack the Death Star. And wasn't it George Lucas's wife who edited that and said, one of the things is like, in order to punch up the drama here, we've got to have a time limit. That time limit, so in this time, what actually needs to be happening is the Death Star needs to be coming to Yavin. And the Death Stars can blow up Yavin. That's going to be the end of all of our heroes. We got the time countdown here. We've got a certain amount of time for our heroes to fly out there and take out the Death Star. And that's more dramatic. If the Death Star was just hanging out over there, and then we're going to fly up on our X-Wings and try to destroy it. And if that doesn't work, well, then we'll send some more X-Wings. Nope, it has to be this round of X-Wings. Because there's a time limit. If it's not done by this certain time limit, then Yavin's destroyed, and that's the end of the rebellion. And so that's why actually nobody ever says that. Nobody says anything about that countdown in the movie. None of the actors. That countdown is only done in voiceover. This is what I heard, but it's true. The countdown's only done in voiceover and with insert shots. And that's because that idea didn't come around until later. And like, hey, we need to put what we're talking about here, this time limit on the characters and have a countdown. And of course, that's just, it adds so much to that movie. It's one of the things that makes it right and makes it so much more dramatic. Are there other? I want to get. If I could find a copy of Dragon Strike, we'd unbox it here and on the morning grind and talk about it. There are some other classic games that I want to get that I used to have that didn't survive the purge from a long ago. If you have ideas for those that might be possible to get or something like that, you put that in the Discord or in the comments or things like that too. Discord's probably better because I'd like to look at some of those too. Mordheim. I really wish I had my copy of Mordheim. We had a lot of fun playing Mordheim. Inner Light says, one of the things that I did that I think is working, at least in playtest so far, is making combat rounds 10 seconds rather than 6 seconds. And that this is making more sense with active defense roles. I don't know what my current opinion on that is. How much time, I'm used to. Of course, the Dungeons and Dragons thing is so abstract. I mean, I guess it works, but it's very abstract. GURPS is hardcore that each combat round is 1 second. You've got, your character is supposed to be acting in 1 second. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. But also, Hackmaster is also 1 second. And I still think that's underappreciated. We need to do some experiments with that online and playing just, the battle in Hackmaster. It's not right for every game. It's not right for narrative type stuff. But with tactical combat, because my thinking tends to go right now, I'm either going narrative or, it's time to get seriously tactical. And Inner Light says it shortens the game minutes. Well, it shortens in game minutes to 6 rounds instead of 10 rounds. Yeah, going second by second is probably not, it's not necessary, right? Not necessary. Stray says, I have the old CD for the introduction to AD&D where it had the IRL people, then it plays the game, but in character. I had that. I had that too. There were 2. We played that a lot. I don't have that now. I wish I had that box. I might have to look for that box. Let me put that box. The intro to AD&D. It had one of them was the haunted house, right? One of the adventures was the haunted house with the CD. Look for that. Look for. But I remember thinking that was pretty cool. We played that quite a bit. And then also the other one that had the CD with it that I remember anyway was Galantry. And I remember actually having a fantastic time playing the Galantry box. We played that intro to D&D. We would replay things. We would replay adventures, not like back to back to back to back, but starting new character, and we were just trying to say, hey, let's start a new character. Hey, everybody role play correctly. Let's go through this again. So we would do that. We replayed things. We played that intro box a lot. And I know I played the Galantry box. I might have played that all the way through. But that was a lot of fun. I remember we did the whole candle thing, dark for Galantry, because there was part of that where you're in magical darkness. And then we listened to it, man. I remember that being really fun. We had that. The windows, they're like iron. That was one of the clips from that intro, right? Gravendell, oh, thank you. I could ship you a copy of Dragon Strike. Oh, well, thank you. I could even, come to think of it, I could even ship it back. If there was something we wanted to take a look at on the morning grind and one of the members of the community had it, but still wanted it back, but, we're willing to let us take a look at it. We could do that. I would take good care of it. Pack it back and then send things back too. That would allow us to take a look at more stuff if the community wanted to do things like that. So yeah, that might be really fun to do, Gravendall. We have to save Lord Easterling. Again, was that the intro one? I don't remember that. Okay, thank you. I'll check that. It might be tomorrow morning, but I will check that and I'll get back with you. Thank you. That's fun. I think people like that. Obviously, Dragon Strike's been so popular. It's got a really, really good cult following. It's been a long time since I've looked at one. From the intro, yeah. And I remember the cleric I remember the haunted house specifically, but the cleric that was in the haunted house that was protected by the candle. He had the candle of protection. And you were fighting skeletons and things like that. We did that one as well. Another one that I really liked, I'm not sure. I got some of these things. I hate that I had that gaming purge years and years ago. And I can't even remember what the name of it is anymore. First Quest. Were those the single player ones? AD&D First Quest. No, I don't recognize that one. But anyway, there was, but also one of my favorite ones, and I would like to run this one again, was, oh, and his name just left me. Well, I'll have to think of that one later. It was a campaign that, oh, no, First Quest, no. Box sets in the 90s that had CDs. Oh, First Quest did? Oh, okay. I didn't have that one, so I'm not. Because I see here on eBay it says First Quest Monsters and Treasures book, but no CD. So originally it had a CD with it. Nope, I didn't know that one, so that one escaped me. So that's cool that there were more. I'll have to come up with the name of the one that I was thinking of with simplified AD&D rules later. But also there was the Dalelands series. Like the Sword of the Dales. We played the Sword of the Dales, and I think there were 3 different adventure modules. There was a trilogy in the Dalelands, because we played in the Dalelands quite a bit, in this Forgotten Realms. And so we started off a number of characters in the Dalelands and played the Sword of the Dale with Randall Morn. I'm sure we played it at least a couple of times. And that's, when we're able to talk about these things together because we have those common experiences through modules. I also love independent stuff the Game Master might come up with. But it's fun to be able to talk about common experiences that we have because we played through the same kinds of adventures. Well, this is fun. Let me look at... I think we've gone on. I don't think I want to start a whole new topic. I've got a topic that I want to talk about. We'll have to do it in a different night about the Jedi costumes and the costuming in Star Wars and what's working and what's not working, especially in terms of cosplaying. Yeah, so I got some other big topics here. I got a list of topics, but as best, if you've got great topics to talk about, we can do that too. But I'm going to save most of these for another night because I think it's just about time to wrap up. We've been going for about 45 minutes, and I've got to get to the bottom of my email and send out more ritual rules. I know people have been waiting for these, so I got to get to the bottom of my email list, and then I got to get to sleep. And I'm going to try to hit the call to action in the morning. Be up at 4:45. It has been an absolute delight talking to everybody. I love it. You mean the brown bathrobes don't work anymore? I'm not sure what you mean. But we'll get back to that. All right, I'm going to let everybody get out of here with Good Night Sword. And I will see everybody tomorrow for the morning grind. Oh, tomorrow I want to look at, I believe I'm looking at Jedi cosplay. Jedi cosplay. I see. I got you. No, better. We need better than that. Tomorrow, I want to look at the Blade Runner RPG. Blade Runner RPG tomorrow. See you in the morning.
Goodnight Sword. Written by E.H. Robinson. Illustrated by Adam M. Botsford. Narrated by Brianna Da Silva. Part of the Tales of Rabavania. Goodnight Sword. Goodnight Gourd. Goodnight guards who keep us all safe. Goodnight dagger. And the iron hauberk. Goodnight cheese. Goodnight keys. Goodnight elm. And goodnight helm. Goodnight squire. And goodnight liar. Goodnight shield. And good night to the lance only the gallant wield. Good night banner. And good night jewel. Good night gruel. Good night knights. And good night to the old soldier who says time's been cruel. Good night, maiden fair, whose favor I bear. Good night, rabbits everywhere.